Oh, hello and welcome to a North Wales side-by-side video. I don't normally cover stuff like boat disasters, but I find this one very, very interesting. And this is the Dali boat disaster that's happened in Baltimore, in America, that's crashed into the bridge. And I find some of the information in it quite intriguing. Just watch the video. Let me know what your thoughts are on my thoughts on me very quickly gathering a little bit of information and just put it into a video. And it's everything in the video are my thoughts on what I think happened in the video, what happened with the boat. Just watch it. It's I think it's interesting. I think it's quite there's a bit of intrigue in this little boat disaster. That's all I'm saying. There's some intrigue and some things to be spoken about in the future. Let's see where it goes. Enjoy. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Please click like and please leave me a comment. Just tell me your thoughts. Either way, don't care. Just enjoy. Thank you.
Shut up and sit down.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I was waiting to talk to the last member of the delegation in the region. Good afternoon. Before I leave for North Carolina, which I'm going to do in a few minutes, I want to speak briefly about the terrible incident and accident that happened in Baltimore this morning. At about 1:30, a container ship struck the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which I've been over many, many times commuting from the state of Delaware on a train or by car. I've been in Baltimore Harbor many times. And the bridge collapsed, sending several people and vehicles into the water, into the river. And multiple U.S. Coast Guard units, which are stationed very nearby, thank God, were immediately deployed along with local emergency personnel. And the Coast Guard is leading the response to the port, where representatives from the Federal Highway Administration, the FBI, Department of Transportation, the Army Corps of Engineers, as well as Maryland officials and Baltimore Police and Fire, are all working together to coordinate an emergency response. Officials at the scene estimate 8 people were unaccounted for still. Not still, were unaccounted for. That number might change. 2 have been rescued, 1 without injury, 1 in critical condition. And the search and rescue operation is continuing for all those remaining as we speak. I spoke with Governor Moore this morning, as well as the Mayor of Baltimore, the county executive, both United States senators and the congressman. And my Secretary of Transportation is on the scene. I told them we're going to send all the federal resources they need as we respond to this emergency. And I mean all the federal resources. And we're going to rebuild that port together. Everything so far indicates that this was a terrible accident. At this time, we have no other indication, no other reason to believe there's any intentional act here. Personnel on board the ship were able to alert the Maryland Department of Transportation that they had lost control of their vessel, as you all know and reported. Everything so far indicates that this was a terrible accident. At this time, we have no other indication, no other reason to believe there's any intentional act here. Personnel.
Oh, hello and welcome to a North Wales side-by-side video. I've been looking at this Dali ship that hit the bridge, and I logged on to a shipping tracker which actually tracks every ship that's got its GPS turned on, and I've watched its movements out of the dock. Now, from what I've seen, and these are only my opinions, it's my perspective on the accident. From what I can see, the Dali cargo ship was underway with power all the way to the moment of impact. because the exterior lights on the ship can be shut off, but that doesn't necessarily mean you lose power. It doesn't say that the engines lost power. And in the video you can see the speed of the ship. The ship was doing 8.7 knots, and it reached that speed approximately 4 minutes before it impacted the bridge. About 4 minutes before it impacted the bridge, it also made a turn directly on a heading for the pylon it ultimately made contact with. So, the ship's doing, after it made its last turn, which was the really, really sharp turn it made before it hit the pylon, it was doing 7.6 knots, right up until the moment it hit the pylon. So I'm saying that ship never lost power, and the loss of 1.1 knots in speed was due to the ship making its turn just before contact. Right, to back that up, a little bit of maths. If a ship is travelling at 22.7 knots, on average you can expect that ship to take 29 minutes to slow down if the engines are moved to stop or they stop working. That you can approximately then work out how much speed a ship will slow down, I should say, with a power loss. So the rate of decrease in speed, 29 minutes, it's doing 22.7 knots. You lose 1.28 knots a minute. So that's what I'm saying about this accident. That ship was powered and going, and it was actually under power right till the moment it hit the pylon. My views. That's what I think from watching all the video and looking at the GPS data that I've managed to find. Thank you very much for watching another North Wales side-by-side video. And these are all my own opinions in this video, nobody else's.